Hi, my name is Sana Altanoon. I'm a multidisciplinary creative based in Hamilton, Ontario. Growing up, I really didn't want to do math. And I guess the opposite of that is art. And I was always drawing, I was always singing or doing creative stuff, so I kind of took that and made it into my career.
I think my art is sort of a realistic slap in the face. It draws on the part of us that's just like, you know what, sometimes it's not beautiful. Sometimes it sucks, and that's kind of okay to explore.
The way that I actually create my art is I use my mouse pad. I don't have a tablet or something fancy like that. I just have my computer and Adobe Illustrator. I kind of just take my mouse pad and draw lines and create something with it, which to some people can seem really roundabout and time consuming, but it works out. It does the job. One of the pieces that I recently worked on, I just had the idea that I wanted to make an illustration about people who tell women that they're too emotional, and just the line, too emotional, just kind of sparked something, and I created an illustration about that. One of my favorite illustrations is an illustration that I focused more so on my childhood sadness. When I was 7 years old, my parents thought we were losing our culture, so they moved us back to Jordan. At that point, I think everyone in my family felt as if they had been displaced. As a kid, it's just a big culture shock.
And it was like the lowest point in my childhood when I felt like the most lost and sad.
And I went up to my parents at one point and I was just like, the flowers in my head are dead. And that was the line apparently that sparked my family's move back to Canada. That's one of my favorite pieces just because it links back so far in my history. When I went to university, I left English and I went into psychology and did more research on cultural phenomenons and gender and sexuality issues, which really interest me. Western
doesn't play well with people who are different or have struggles.
So I found a group of girls who were like-minded and also were creative and wanted to make a community of artists. And we started a magazine. It's called Iconoclast, and it's all about breaking boundaries and talking about things that people feel unsettled talking about but are so important to talk about because it incites change. After I finished 3 years of doing the magazine at Western, I kind of was just like, I need something that's completely my own. So I created an Instagram. It's called Short Fuse. The name Short Fuse comes from, it's just kind of my personality. I tend to tell people how it is. Like if they're being problematic, I'll tell them like, hey, that's kind of not cool. Let's think about like why we say the things that we say. Where does it come from? My audience is kind of people who feel hopeless about what's going on in the world.
I'm just trying to connect with the people who want to learn more about how they can change the world and learn more about other cultures, learn more about gender, sexuality, and all of that kind of stuff.
In the future, I see myself always working on some sort of design project or some sort of something that's related to social justice and just changing the social climate. Whether that's in, honestly, design, like yes, it's a part of my life and I think it'll always be a part of my life, but I think that when it comes down to it, I think I'm meant to educate people in some way about social justice.